I have to say that I am not the best person to get the interview advice from. I am just sharing my experience with you guys, and I'm hoping that you have a better shot at completing the interview. So that's what this video is for. Hello, my name is Mark, and I recently interviewed for the IBEW for a local 617. And oh my gosh. So at 617, they have the oral interview and a practical test. During the oral interview, they asked me 5 questions. The first question was why the electrical construction field. The second question, I forgot. The third question was tell me a time when the instructions weren't clear on how to do something and how did you go about doing it. The fourth question, I don't remember the fourth question. I don't even remember the fifth question. The reason why I'm laughing or I'm just hysterical, is that the word? I feel hysterical, was the practical test. Before we talk about the questions and how I would answer them, don't worry, I will provide you with a few questions and how I would answer them. But the practical test was something else. The practical test had 5 tasks. The first task was to match the rolls of tape to the right color. A green roll of tape to the color, the label green, and then you had purple, pink, white, black, so on and so forth, all the colors of the rainbow. The part of the first task also was to measure out, to estimate the length of a pole. There was a pole, like imagine this as a steel pole or pipe, and you had to just kind of guess how long it was. I said it was 30 inches. So all I did was I got the pipe and I put it against my shoe. I'm a size 9, but with Timberlands, it's like, a little bit bigger. I just got the pipe, I put it against my shoe, moved it twice and the third time. So I just guesstimated 30 inches. I might have got that wrong. I don't know. Part of the first task also was to walk across a beam and then walk back. So you just have to balance yourself. That's it. The second task was to carry some pipes. I believe it was pipes. I don't remember what it was, but it was something long pipes, a bundle of them. And then you just had to carry them to, for me, it was to carry them to where the sidewalk and the road met. Carry it over there and then walk back. What I emphasized was picking them up correctly. Don't use your back, use your legs. So I picked it up using my legs. I did put the bundle on my shoulder. And then I just, when I turned around, I made sure to emphasize to look behind me, make sure nothing was there. Then I just walked back and then I placed the bundle back to where the original location. The third task was to get an 8-foot ladder and 8-foot ladder, climb the ladder and put a bucket on the shelf. That's it. But I don't know. It was like complicated for me. The task itself wasn't complicated. I just was overcomplicating it in my head. So that was it. You get the ladder, post the ladder, make sure it's secured, get the bucket, carry the bucket or lift up the bucket using your legs, and then carry the bucket safely to the top, leave it there for a second, and then you go down, get the bucket, put the bucket in its original location, and put the ladder away. That was task number 3. Task number 4 was to pick a shovel. There was 2 shovels against the wall. And then you had to choose a shovel to just put I'm not sure what the material was, but you had to put this stuff. It was like, I'll say it's sand, but it wasn't sand. And then you got to put this stuff inside a square or a box. And then you have to do that 5 times. Shovel once, shovel twice, 3, 4, 5. That was task number 4. Then task number 5, this is why I'm laughing and why I'm hysterical, is, okay, so this guy, right, the instructor, he goes, all right, so here's this 2x4, and then you're going to get a box, and then you're going to secure it to the 2x4, and then you're going to get this pipe, secure it inside the box or to the box, and then secure the pipe on the 2x4 as well. And I was like, like, I swear I looked at him and I was like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing. But I did it. I did it to the best of my ability. I have never secured a box and a pipe to a 2x4 ever in my life. I did a whole bunch of stuff in the house, like, change the shower head or replace the shower head. I took apart the washer and dryer one time. I've opened up electrical outlets because I would blow them out sometimes, but I've never done this. I hung pictures, I hung pictures and built all the furniture in the home, but I've never done this. I'm looking at him like, bro, with my eyes like, bro, but I did it. So it took me a little bit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I felt retarded. You got this box. It's a hollow box with one opening. And then you just place the box on the 2x4, and I got the pipe. I put it inside the hole. There was a hole there. And then there was this, I don't know what this piece is called, but there was a piece. I secured it on the pipe, which allowed me to put it inside the box, attach it to the box without it like moving around. And then I got this like a washer, and I secured it onto the box, so it was completely still. And then I got these two holders, like I'm not sure what they're called, but like they secured around the pipe, and I was able to use these holders to secure the pipe so it wasn't moving around. So it wasn't moving around on the 2x4, and I was able to secure the pipe to the box via this piece that I don't know what it's called, and a washer to inside the box. And then at the very end, I just screwed everything together. I made sure the screws matched. Like I got screws with the same length. And then I also went a step further because the box was hollow, and there was a piece to put on top of the box, but I wasn't sure if it could go on there. Like I couldn't find any screws that could go on top of couldn't find any screws that could match the holes, right? Is that right? But yeah, that was the last task. Secure the box and the pipe to the 2x4, connecting the box and the pipe. I asked him like 3 times like what to do, because I didn't know what to do. Like this was foreign to me. Yeah, like the 3rd time, it was like, I felt like he chuckled, because I chuckled a little bit. Just to preface, I'm completely green to the industry, but I'm trying my best to get in, and I want to learn the right way. I want to learn through the IBEW, through their apprenticeship program. I feel like that's, I weighed out the options, union, non-union, and for me, it's like union no-brainer. To me, it's like the military, right? There's structured training, and there's high standards, and there's potential for a long-term career. So that was the practical test. It was fun. But let's move on to probably why you clicked this video. This is the oral exam, and they asked me 5 questions. 2 of the questions were just like, why the electrical trade? Yeah, I feel like the second question was the first question. So they were kind of like blended together, because when the second person went to ask me the second question, he said, you kind of answered already this question, but then he asked me the question. And to be honest, at that point, I kind of froze and I asked to just, can I relax and slow down? Because I was really nervous. I did my interview with 332 and I documented that as well. But this time I just felt super nervous. I don't know. I mean, I know why, and it's because I'm serious about this and I really want to get in, but not as nervous as this. I was nervous. But okay, the first question was why the construction electrical trade. This was my answer. I want to learn a practical skill. I want to learn a practical skill of which that could transfer over or beyond the workplace, where I could use it at home, for example, or to help somebody out. The electrical trade will allow me to see not just electrical tradespeople, but other construction workers. So that's why I'll be able to learn other things. Second was fulfillment. I will have fulfillment in working with my hands. My career path after college was in project management. To be honest, there's no memorable moments that I've had in that career field, in my career field, except for those ones where I was working with my hands. For example, I used to work at a loan company called Cal Union Funding. And at Cal Union Funding, we gathered documents and submitted these documents to the bank to get a loan approval. What I found memorable was when I was setting up computers for my coworkers, right? So I was an office manager, and when we were moving offices, I was in charge of setting up all the computers, just setting up all the wires. I remember just like setting everything up into one central hub and making everything look neat. And same here, right? I have this whole computer setup and I really do my best to make the wires look neat. And I really enjoy cable management. And the last point was I want a long-term career. So I want a long-term career that provides stability and consistency, and something where I will learn and grow into. I read the JATC standards online. You have the 5-year plan for the apprenticeship program is outlined, right? I recommend you look into that, into your local, or I'm sure that it's probably standard amongst all the locals, but the curriculum is there. It's okay if you are changing careers, right? It's okay to be green. As long as you have the attitude, that's what they're looking for. You know, I feel like I bombed my answers though, to be honest. You know, I gave it my all, and I hope they felt that. The third question was the question about the instructions not being clear. So tell me, I have it right here. Tell us about a time when you had some work to do, but you were not exactly sure how to do it. I used my previous experience. So at USPS, I was a mail carrier, a new mail carrier. And the job for new mail carriers are to fill in where the regular on the routes was gone either on vacation or they were sick. The new carriers, PTFs we were called, we had to take over those routes. It could be like every day that you're learning a new route. How did I go about navigating? Was I would ask the carriers to the left and right of the case, like, hey, how do you do this route? What are the tips and tricks that you have for me to make sure that I complete it within the 8 hours? What areas are the hardest? You know, they would tell me like, oh, this part is hilly. Oh, this part you use the, I forgot what that box was called, but you put the mail in this box. And then when you make your loop, you go back to this box so you can complete the other loop without going back to the truck. They gave me those tips and tricks. So I asked questions, and I think that's what they were looking for was, do you have humility to ask for help? I don't remember the fourth question. I remember how I answered it though. Maybe it was this. Tell us about a time when someone criticized something you made or something you did. This is how I would answer this question. Is at Panda Express, I was new and I started out at the Colma location. And then shortly after, a week later, I was transferred over to the Westlake location. And at the Colma location, they used the 5.5 ounce spoon to scoop up the rice, right? So I was trained using that spoon. And then I moved to the Westlake location and I used that 5.5 ounce spoon serving the customers. And then my assistant manager came up to me and kind of questioned why I used that spoon. They said that was the wrong spoon to use. What I didn't understand was like, oh, we're not all universal. No, all locations are different or can be different. So at this location, I found out that they used a serving spoon. It wasn't exactly 5.5 ounces, but the thing about the serving spoon was you were able to scoop up the rice faster. So that was a time when my manager criticized me for, or somebody criticized me for something I did. What I did was I asked them why, and they told me why. It's because, like I mentioned, it was just much faster to scoop the rice and to reach the end goal, which was to deliver the customers to, or deliver the food to the customers fast. So that was ability to maintain good relations with others in a work setting. The last question was about safety. I don't know how he phrased the question, but it wasn't part of these questions that I have here. I think it was, tell us about a time where you worked in a dangerous situation. My answer, I don't think my answer reflects how the question they asked, but what I said was at USPS, before we even handle the mail and sort the packages, is we check the vehicle. We inspect the vehicle. We get the keys to our vehicle. We inspect it. We make sure that the tires are inflated, the tread is all right, the lights are working, and the mirrors are all set. You know, we went through a 8-point inspection. I'm not sure if it's 8-point, but I'm gonna just say 8-point inspection to ensure that the vehicle was drivable, because we didn't want to be in dangerous situations. If there was something that needed to be replaced or needed to be fixed, we would contact our supervisor, and our supervisor would either get us a new vehicle or they would get a mechanic to fix the problem. Yeah, that's how I answered that question, but I don't think I answered the question well. I have to say that I am not the best person to get the interview advice from. I am just sharing my experience with you guys, and I'm hoping that you have a better shot at completing the interview. So that's what this video is for. But before I go, I want to leave you with just one question. One question and how I would answer it. Tell us about a time at work or school when something went wrong quite unexpectedly. And also, tell us about a time when an accident happened and when you or someone around you panicked. So why I said these two questions was because they kind of can be answered with the same answer. So at Panda Express, I was a new cook. I was new at cooking. I wasn't comfortable cooking unless someone was there with me, guiding me. So there was a time when it wasn't busy, and my coworker left and went to the back. And then I got an order in to cook something, and I did what I was supposed to do. I turned on the burner and put the oil in, and then a fire started. So a fire started from the edge of the wok, and it went to the middle where the oil was, and it just like went all up in my face, right? And I low-key panicked, but I did what I was supposed to do, followed the training, which was to kill the burner, and then shortly after the fire died, but then there was a fire still on the side of the wok, and I did not know why it was there. I didn't know what to do. This was like my first time being alone. So I panicked a little bit. I called out for my coworker and was like, "Hey, David, come here." And he came over and he chuckled at me and then said something like, "Oh, you can't cook." He made fun of me. And then he grabbed the ladle from me and scraped off the excess oil on the side of the walk. From there, I knew that those were grease fires and they were common. And all you needed to do to prevent those was to clean the wok. So just scrape off the excess grease and then turn on the burner, and then it'll just melt the oil off, right? But an excess will cause a fire or a small fire. I believe I answered that in the SAR method. So they will ask you questions and they will want you to answer in the SAR method. Specifically for me, it was the SAR method, and the alternative, or the same thing basically, is the STAR method. The SAR method is just the situation, action, and result. And the STAR method is the situation, task, action, and then result. I believe that's it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Those were the questions, or that was my experience interviewing for the IBEW. Follow for the journey, because I do want to become an electrician, and it's a dream now. I want to do everything I can to make it. And if it means re-interviewing, then so be it. I'm going to re-interview. The next step, actually, because I feel like I didn't do well, but the next step is for me to look for jobs now. So I was already looking for jobs previously, but this interview came up. I got the letter at the end of December, and I was just, full focus on this interview. But now I'm going to be looking for employment opportunities for electrical helper positions or other apprenticeships, just anything for me to get my foot through the door, and also to prepare for a re-interview. So I hope you found that helpful. Make sure you like the video so that this could spread out to other people. And I wish you luck. If you are watching this video and you have an upcoming interview, I wish you luck. I will be putting out aptitude tests. I'll be making my own aptitude tests for you guys so you guys could study. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys on the next video. I usually say Marky F baby out, but this is not one of those videos. But I'm gonna say it anyway. Marky F baby out. I will see you on the next video. I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I play all my games in Spanish, along with going over lessons on Dreaming Spanish and Rosetta Stone. But yeah, that's the other journey on my channel, playing video games in Spanish with the question, can you learn Spanish playing video games? And this, my journey to become an electrician. Marky F baby out. Bye.